Oh yeah.
I do the beginning and then he does the end.
Everything, but
and then some questions might be addressed at you.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Goals, dreams, aspirations. We all have them, and they are the reasons why we save and invest, aren't they? But are you saving right? Because if you're not, then you're setting yourself up for disappointment. Let me introduce you to Petra's Wealth Planner, a personal financial planning and advisory service for individuals who desire to achieve their dreams. With Wealth Planner, a trained individual sits with you and develops a financial plan based on your unique needs and recommends the appropriate financial investment to attain your goals. What you need to do is to contact Petra for a planning session, and an advisor is going to call you to introduce him or herself and get to know you better and understand your current position and what your desires are. Then your goals are clearly outlined and a financial plan is developed based on your unique situation. Your advisor will also make some savings and investment recommendations to you to consider in executing the plan. Remember, the right execution is what leads to achieving your goals. That is why your advisor will keep tabs on your plan and provide ongoing advice throughout the execution until your goals are achieved. So, what are you waiting for? Call us on 0242 435 037 or send us a DM on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram at Petra on social, and let's get started. Petra, achieve more.
Running payroll can be a strenuous task, so the last thing you want is an extra lengthy process to validate schedules and then make payments, only to be told the payment couldn't be identified or assigned to your staff. But validating schedules and payments for your staff's pension contributions shouldn't be that stressful. With Petra's self-service schedule validation, you can validate your monthly schedules with a few clicks right from the comfort of your seat in less than 3 minutes. It's so simple. Here is what you have to do. 1. Open your browser and visit members.petratrust.com. Enter your login credentials and then select Manage Employer and Validate. 2. To upload your schedule for validation. 3. After a successful validation, a report and payment advice will be sent to your email address. 4. Use the schedule ID on the payment advice as the bank account number when making payments at the bank, or as the reference if you are making payment via bank transfer. That's it. So simple. Please remember that every validator schedule will have a unique schedule ID, which will start with SI with a few other characters. Without this ID, the bank cannot accept your payments. So always look out for the unique schedule ID on the payment advice for payments. Experience convenience. If you require any assistance, click on the chat feature on our members portal or contact our client services team on phone at 024-243-5037 extension 4. Email clientservices@petratrust.com or contact your relationship manager. Petra, achieve more.
Good morning and welcome. It's been a very rainy week in Accra, where you're joining us from, but we have a very beautiful Tuesday morning. And I trust you're having a beautiful working day wherever you are. My name is Sarah, and once again, welcome to the Petra Scheme Members Conference 2023 for the Evergreen Pension Scheme. Here we'll be discussing what has gone on in the past financial year when it comes to investments, it comes to the audited accounts of the scheme, and then also other initiatives that have been done to ensure that you are retiring towards a very comfortable future. Now, I am going to not be doing this alone, so within the course of the presentations and the session, we'll have different people. However, for the Evergreen Pension Scheme, we have the Board of Trustees here today, and I will be introducing each one of them differently whilst reading out their profiles as well to you. Now, the chairman of the trust board, in the person of Mr. Kofi Difin, is the managing director here at Petra Trust Company Limited. Prior to founding Petra Trust, Kofi was the chief operating officer in charge of assets management at Oceanic Capital Company Limited. And that is an investment bank and subsidiary of Oceanic Bank International. While he was there, he was responsible for setting and implementing the strategy for the asset management business, as well as co-managing the day-to-day operations of OCCL. In addition to all these many things he was doing, his executive responsibilities and part of his board leadership within the group, he also led the strategic review of Oceanic Bank's decision to enter the Nigerian pension market as a pension fund custodian and advised the firm on how to position the pension custody business for success. Further to that, after or before joining OCCL from Wellington Management Company in Boston, Massachusetts, where he was an associate partner, he also managed an assets portfolio totaling $4 billion, and then which was also broadly estimated or distributed among pension fund, reserve funds, and sovereign wealth fund mandates from some large institutions in Africa and in Asia. In addition to his portfolio and management role, Kofi was responsible for leading the firm's advisory effort to the sector. Working closely with some of these institutions and their consultants, he provided advice on investment policy design, implementation, and monitoring. Before joining Wellington, he also worked at BlackRock Financial Management, a global asset management firm with over $3.6 trillion under management. At BlackRock, he led the team responsible for the management of the risk in all the firm's leveraged vehicles. Kofi earned both bachelor's and a master's degree in engineering from Massachusetts Institute of Technology and holds an MBA from Harvard Business School. So, Mr. Kofi Difin, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Any few words for our viewers?
A few words for the viewers.
Yes,
well, it's a pleasure to be here. I will speak today in my capacity as chairman of the Evergreen Pension Scheme, and would like to say good morning to all of you scheme members. I'd like to thank you for joining this annual general meeting. We're here as trustees, and as trustees we bear the ultimate responsibility for the administration and governance of this pension scheme. We approach this responsibility with great seriousness, understanding its impact on the well-being of you, our scheme members, during your retirement years when you no longer have the ability to work. In the year 2022, your scheme grew significantly, and we have strived to ensure that you have good returns and great customer service experience. After the introduction of the other trustees, our speakers will give you in-depth details of the scheme's performance, outlook, portfolio strategy, and you will have the opportunity to ask questions. However, before we get to that, I'd like to give you some key details of the scheme in this short introduction. The Evergreen scheme grew from 174 million Ghana cedis from 174,810,000 Ghana cedis at the beginning of the year to 198,134 Ghana cedis at the end of 2022. We started the year with 3,906 active customers and have added on about 700 more scheme members, bringing the total to 4,490. Of those numbers, there were 116 withdrawals, and you can find the reasons for these withdrawals on page 5 of the audited financial statement. To talk about the returns of the scheme, the net return in 2022 was 8.09%. This return did not compare favorably with the average 91-day Treasury bill rate, which last year was 23.9%. However, we have to look at the result in the context of heightened uncertainty in the local economy, as well as the more unfavorable global economic environment we found ourselves in last year, and that continues into this year. It is important to know that in the context of an investment landscape where the value of financial securities fell significantly and many investments in Ghana lost value, your scheme not only maintained its value, but managed to grow. As we come out of the crisis, we are optimistic for the investment outlook and look forward to returning to better investment returns, as we already can see in this year, 2023. Let me express our gratitude for the trust and confidence you place in us as your trustees. We will continue to focus on protecting the assets that you have placed in our care, while looking for any and all opportunities to generate great investment returns for you. And we will do this while ensuring that the quality of service and convenience for you remains high through all of the various initiatives that will be discussed in more detail as we go through this presentation. Thank you very much for your presence and for your attention, and let us enjoy a good annual general meeting. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. This is what you get when you have a visionary chairman. He's gone straight to the point inside his introduction to even give you the opening remarks of how the scheme has fared, and you can see clearly that from last year up until the last audit, you had 174 million in scheme assets, and has been steadily growing to 194 million Ghana cedis. So that tells you that there's board governance, and there are a lot of things that the board has put in place to ensure that your funds are safe, despite haircuts of every form and DDEPs and all forms of economic crisis that happened in the previous year. Now, extending to the board, I'd like to introduce the two other members of the board who also form part of the decision-making and governance, as well as the administration structure when it comes to the Evergreen pension scheme. So we have, in person of the independent trustee, Mr. Charles Egan, and I'll read his profile. Now, Mr. Egan is a fellow of the Chartered Association of Certified Accountants, England and Wales, and a member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants, Ghana, with over 40 years of experience in the accountancy profession. He is also a member of the Chartered Institute of Taxation, Ghana, and the Zambia Institute of Chartered Accountants. He is a product of the London School of Accountancy and attended several continuing professional, including corporate governance courses, both locally and overseas. Mr. Egan is also the managing partner of CFY Partners, a 3-partner accountancy firm providing auditing and assurance, tax and advisory services. He is currently a non-executive independent director of the Board of Trustees of the following institutions: Metropolitan Life Insurance Ghana Limited, he's the chairman there; Metropolitan Health Insurance Ghana Limited; Metropolitan Pensions Ghana Limited. And he serves on the Finance and Investment Committees, Audit and Actuarial Committees, and HR Risk and Governance Committees of these companies. Going on, he also serves as independent trustee on the Evergreen Pension Scheme, the Underwriters Tier 3 Master Trust Pension Scheme as the chairman, the Bank of Ghana Tier 2 Pension Scheme, and the University Staff Occupational Pension Scheme. He also previously served as a non-executive independent director on the board of Stanbic Bank Ghana Limited and Tangerine Life Insurance Limited in Nigeria, and also served on various committees of these institutions. Mr. Egan was the consultant head reviewer of the Quality Assurance Monitoring Department of the Institute of the Chartered Accountants from March 2012 to 30th of June 2017. Mr. Egan set up the department from scratch and trained managers and assistants as assistant managers who he recruited for the department. Mr. Egan again was the country senior partner of PricewaterhouseCoopers, now PwC, Ghana, from 2002 to 2009 when he retired. He worked in various PwC offices, namely Ghana, Zambia, Kenya, and Nigeria, in senior management roles, and has wide experience in statutory audits, due diligence reviews, internal audit reviews, feasibility studies, mergers and acquisitions, and the administration of insolvent companies. So nothing really happens to this scheme in terms of solvency. But the clients that he had served were mainly in the insurance service sector, financial services sector, mining, agriculture, manufacturing, and public sector. He also has extensive experience in tax compliance and planning advisory. He also worked with KPMG and Arthur Young in the United Kingdom. He has made presentations at various audit committees, as well as corporate governance trainings to certain boards. So, Mr. Charles Egan, you're welcome.
Thank you very
much for being
Thank you
here.
very much.
Are there any opening remarks you'd like for our viewers to know?
Thank you very much, and good morning, distinguished members of the scheme. I don't think I'll add much to what the chairman has said. Once the chairman has spoken, it's okay. I just want to say that as an independent trustee to the scheme, at times when I attend some presentations with the NPRA, we say that I'm like the policeman, but really I'm not the policeman. I'm part of the members of the board and make sure that we comply with all the regulations, the directives and guidelines that the regulator would have asked it to go. And also we make sure that our own trust deeds, we comply with all our trust deeds matters that we have to make sure that we are complying with that, and in that we are actually handling or having a better custody of the assets that you have entrusted in us. So it's just with these remarks, I would hold on here till later when I come back for the closing remarks, after I've heard all the presentations that would go on. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Egan. So that was the independent trustee, Mr. Charles Egan, for the Evergreen Pension Scheme. Finally, we'll be introducing the last trustee, obviously not the least, Mr. Nixon Amoa Iwa. Now, Nixon is a human capital expert with extensive experience in organizational transformation and development, talent management, personality profiling, amongst other expertise through work in Ghana and the UK. He's currently the head of HR for EcoBank Ghana and Anglophone West Africa region, providing strategic direction on employee experience and culture. Prior to joining EcoBank, Nixon was the HR director for Textiles Ghana Limited, where he implemented a number of HR transformational initiatives. He also served as the managing director of Calvin Clay People Development, head of HR at the office services at Telo Ghana Limited, HR business partner at Vodafone Ghana, and recruitment consultant at Von Essen Consult and Antal International Network. Now, Nixon is a chartered fellow of the Chartered Institute of Personnel and Development and a member of the Chartered Institute of Human Resource Management. Nixon holds a master's degree in oil and gas management, and he's a trained executive coach, and he's also a certified MBTI, EQI, and Insights Discovery practitioner. Welcome, Mr. Amwewa, to the set.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So, as the members have already heard and from what the chairman has said and the independent have said, we'd like to take a few short words from you to the members who are listening today.
I mean, if the chairman has spoken, who am I? But I just want to say a good morning to our members, and it's good to be connected. We are all waiting to hear what we have to say. So I won't bore anybody with any words. I'll leave it to the chairman.
Thank you very much. So thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, for your very insightful speech. Now, it was important for us to read because you'd understand that the board does not take things lightly in terms of the array of persons, the laudable things that they have done already in the fields they have already been in. So you can be very much assured that your funds are being well managed. We have a lot of expertise here. And as you stay on, we're talking more about how funds are invested or were invested over the period and other things that have been done. So as he has said, once the chairman has spoken, there's really nothing else that we can add. We'll take a commercial break at this point and we'll come back with some investment strategy and other matters that relate to the scheme.
Goals, dreams, aspirations. We all have them, and they are the reasons why we save and invest, aren't they? But are you saving right? Because if you're not, then you're setting yourself up for disappointment. Let me introduce you to Petra's Wealth Planner, a personal financial planning and advisory service for individuals who desire to achieve their dreams. With Wealth Planner, a trained individual sits with you and develops a financial plan based on your unique needs and recommends the appropriate financial investment to attain your goals. What you need to do is to contact Petra for a planning session, and an advisor is going to call you to introduce him or herself and get to know you better and understand your current position and what your desires are. Then your goals are clearly outlined and a financial plan is developed based on your unique situation. Your advisor will also make some savings and investment recommendations to you to consider in executing the plan. Remember, the right execution is what leads to achieving your goals. That is why your advisor will keep tabs on your plan and provide ongoing advice throughout the execution until your goals are achieved. So, what are you waiting for? Call us on 0242 435 037 or send us a DM on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram at Petra on social, and let's get started. Petra, achieve more.
Running payroll can be a strenuous task, so the last thing you want is an extra lengthy process to validate schedules and then make payments, only to be told the payment couldn't be identified or assigned to your staff. But validating schedules and payments for your staff's pension contributions shouldn't be that stressful. With Petra's self-service schedule validation, you can validate your monthly schedules with a few clicks right from the comfort of your seat in less than 3 minutes. It's so simple. Here is what you have to do. 1. Open your browser and visit members.petratrust.com. Enter your login credentials and then select Manage Employer and validate. 2. To upload your schedule for validation. 3. After a successful validation, a report and payment advice will be sent to your email address. 4. Use the schedule ID on the payment advice as the bank account number when making payments at the bank, or as the reference if you are making payment via bank transfer. That's it. So simple. Please remember that every validator schedule will have a unique schedule ID, which will start with SI with a few other characters. Without this ID, the bank cannot accept your payments. So always look out for the unique schedule ID on the payment advice for payments. Experience convenience. If you require any assistance, click on the chat feature on our members portal or contact our client services team on phone at 024-243-5037 extension 4. Email clientservices@petratrust.com or contact your relationship manager. Petra, achieve more.
Back from that break, and you're still watching the Evergreen Pension Scheme AGM for 2022, and we'll be taking a presentation of the scheme's investment strategy and performance outlook from Ms. Yvonne Buliga, who here at Petra is the head of portfolio management. Welcome, Yvonne.
Thank you, Sarah, for the kind introduction. So as Sarah mentioned, my name is Yvonne Buliga and I head the portfolio management team here at Petra. When it comes to what we do as a team, our primary objective or goal or reason for being here is to grow your funds in the best way possible whilst taking the least risk that we can. So I'm going to take you through some of the investment activities that occurred in the scheme during the year. So in 2022, the scheme grew by about 13%. And out of this number, when we look at the net flows, which basically is saying that when you look at all of the contributions that you received or we received, and we take out the redemptions that were also paid out of the scheme, what was left, that's the net flows, makes up about 5% of this 13%. When it comes to the management fees that all of the service providers charge the scheme, it's totals about 2%. And we look at all of the service providers, we are looking at the regulator, the administrator, the fund manager, and the custodian, who's the bank responsible for keeping custody of the scheme's assets. During the year, the scheme was compliant with the regulatory guidelines and was also compliant with the international financial reporting standards. Coming to the most interesting part of this conversation, which is on the returns. During the year in 2022, the scheme closed the year with a return of 8%. And yes, as the chairman mentioned, this return was unfavorable when compared to the 91-day Treasury bill, when compared to inflation as well, so it was also not favorable as well. When it comes to the management of scheme funds, there are different objectives that we typically look at, and one of the common ones that we are all very much aware of is returns and how much the funds grow by, but that's not the only reason or the only objective that must be looked at with the management of funds. There are different things that could be looked at. It could even be liquidity, that is how easy it is to access your funds. I'm sure that most of us here can testify how last year was a very tumultuous one, and even getting funds that you had invested with certain institutions was a difficulty. So besides that, you definitely need to ensure that at the end of the day, your funds are somewhere that if you need it, you can actually get easy access to. Another objective could even be strategically positioning the scheme in such a way that you maximize returns that may not necessarily be realized in the immediate term in a later time and the likes. Definitely last year, I need to highlight once again that last year was not an easy year for us. It was a year that we all actually felt, if for the lack of a better word, it was a year that things were very difficult for everyone in the country. And what we strive to do with your funds in the scheme was to ensure that we were at least not just preserving the capital, but giving you some extra income on top of that. Just not look at what happened in the year 2022. We can say it's an outlier because in 2022, like I mentioned, it was a very tough one. But when you look at how well your funds have performed over a period, say from 2018, you've made about over 70% of your money back in the form of returns. So let's not just focus so much on that alone. Looking forward, we are still going to strive to ensure that we preserve the money that you invest with us. Besides the preservation of your funds as well, we are going to ensure that we also give you some income on top of that. As we speak, the scheme is returning over 20%, somewhere around 23% year to date. And we are looking forward to seeing that all of the investments that we make on your behalf with your funds are put into investments that are going to carry not as much risk. We'll make sure that it goes through a right due diligence process like we've always done to ensure that we put it in right investments for the scheme. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you for that, Yvonne. So as she's mentioned, last year was quite a difficult one. You probably directly felt that in your pockets. But even with this year, your returns from the start of the year up to now, when we talk about the year-to-date return, is around 23%. And we're focusing on preservation of the funds because that's very key. You should be able to have your money by the time you're going on retirement. And then also income, growing it, taking all the due diligence measures and ensuring that we're placing the funds in very safe assets that also provide you some return. And then finally, accessibility. Can you be able to take out your money when that is due? So these are some of the things that has been done for the Evergreen Pension Scheme when it comes to Tier 2. And this is the presentation of the scheme's investment strategy and performance outlook for 2022 and in 2023. Thank you very much, Yvonne. We'll take one last quick break here, and then afterwards we'll be here to discuss the audited accounts from the audited firm. So maybe you don't believe what is being said here. The auditor independently will be here to also share what has been done and then qualify everything that is being said today. So we'll go on a very quick break, and when we come back, we'll have John K. and Co. here to share the audited financial statements with us.
It's possible to achieve your financial goals. However, finding the right solution for your financial goals can be complicated. From finding the right investment to managing all your accounts with different providers, or being able to fully track your transactions. So, we thought of making it simple for you. Whatever your goal may be, the Achieve app gives you the right support system to get you there. It provides you with easy access to the right financial products you need to realize your goals. The sign-up process is simple and without any stress. You're also able to grow your savings and investment with the DigiSave account. You can also monitor your transactions effectively. So, download the app now and do more with your cash.
Hello again. Thank you for staying with us. We are still at the Evergreen Pension Scheme AGM for the year 2022. And as I mentioned before we went on that quick break, we'll be having the auditors, John K. and Co., tell us about independently everything that is being said here in terms of preservation of assets and management, what has been up. So if you think we're lying, the auditor is here to really confirm everything that has been said. So this will be done by Mr. Gilbert Lomofio and his colleague, supported by his colleague, Mr. Samuel Anand from John K. and Co. So Mr. Gilbert Lomofio, you can take us away.
Okay, thank you very much, and good morning to you scheme members. I would like to take the opinion on the financial statement of Evergreen Pension Scheme for the year ended 31st December 2022. So we audited the financial statement, which comprised the statement of net asset available for benefit at 31st December 2022, statement of changes in net asset available for benefit, statement of movement in net asset available for benefit, and statement of cash flow for the year then ended, and note to the financial statement, which include a summary of significant accounting policies and other explanatory notes. In our opinion as auditors, the accompanying financial statement give a true and fair view of the financial position of Evergreen Pension Scheme at 31st December 2022 and of the scheme financial performance and cash flow for the year ended, and are in accordance with International Financial Reporting Standards and in the manner required by the National Pensions Act 2008, Act 766 as amended, and the Occupational and Personal Pension Scheme General Regulation 2011 LI 1990. So that is the opinion on your scheme. Now the basis for opinion, we conducted our audit in accordance with international standards on auditing. Our responsibilities under those standards are described under the audited responsibility section of the report. Now we are independent of Evergreen Pension Scheme, so that you are aware. So that is why the host said we are independent, and we are giving an independent opinion on this financial statement. Now there are a few matters that came to our attention during the audit, which I'd like to just highlight those. The first one is income recognition. Income is an important measure of performance and represents a material item in the scheme statement of changes in net assets available for benefit. The scheme generates income from the investment of members' fund. Income arises from interest that accrue on this investment and coupon or interest that are received in running, matured, and terminated investment. Given that some of the scheme's assets will mature beyond 31st December, the cut-off date for 31st December 2022 is significant to ensure that amount that will accrue after this date are not recognized as income in the current financial statement. And we perform procedures to ensure that this is actually the case, and we can conclude that all income that accrued in the year under review were accrued as such, and other income were accrued in years that they relate to. The other matter is existence and valuation of investment assets. The property of the trust is invested in fixed income securities, collective investment schemes, and listed equities. In many respects, the custody of this investment is by third-party entities specifically authorized or nominated for such holding purposes. Based on the business model of the pension scheme, this investment can either be valued at amortized cost or at fair value, and the return on this investment depends on the face value, interest rate, and tenor. And so we want to ensure that these matters have also been taken into account in accounting for the scheme's in accounting for the scheme. And some of the procedures we conducted to ensure this is we obtained a list of investment in the name of the scheme from the Central Securities Depository to confirm their existence and agree the total to the fund manager's accounting record. And we can say that all your schemes are available and can be verified at any time. All right. Now, the last matter that I'd like to draw attention to is the report on other legal and regulatory matters. And I'd like to say that we have obtained all information and explanation which, to the best of our knowledge and belief, were necessary for the purpose of our audit. In our opinion, proper books of account have been kept by the trustee of the scheme, and they have also fully complied with the prohibited investment practices stated under Section 35 of the Occupational and Personal Pension General Regulation 2011 NI 1990 and all other requirements under the National Pensions Act 2008 Act 766 as amended, so far as appears from our examination of those records. And we, John K. & Co., signed and dated it 20th of April 2023, and it was represented by Gilbert Adetolomofio, whose practice number is ICAG/P/1417. So this is the opinion on the Evergreen pension scheme, Madam.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lumofio. So as you heard clearly, on their basis, proper books of accounts have been kept by the trustees in line with all other regulation. And this is an independent opinion, even as far as going to the CSD to check the viability and the validity of the assets that are kept by the scheme. So this information will also be available on our website and will be shared with the members of the scheme. So if you want to peruse further, you can have that and then share and also feast on that. So I also want to mention that this information also is filed with the National Pensions Regulatory Authority. That's the governing body for all pension schemes in the country. And so there's a lot of layers of security and safety to ensure that at every point in time, you're kept in the best place. Thank you very much, Mr. Auditor.
Thank you.
And from that, because I mentioned the NPRA, we're going on a quick break, and when we come back, we'll have the Deputy Managing Director, Deputy CEO of the NPRA, come to share a few words with us at the AGM. Do stay tuned.
Running payroll can be a strenuous task, so the last thing you want is an extra lengthy process to validate schedules and then make payments, only to be told the payment couldn't be identified or assigned to your staff. But validating schedules and payments for your staff's pension contributions shouldn't be that stressful. With Petra's self-service schedule validation, you can validate your monthly schedules with a few clicks right from the comfort of your seat in less than 3 minutes. It's so simple. Here is what you have to do. 1. Open your browser and visit members.petratrust.com. Enter your login credentials and then select Manage Employer and validate. 2. To upload your schedule for validation. 3. After a successful validation, a report and payment advice will be sent to your email address. 4. Use the schedule ID on the payment advice as the bank account number when making payments at the bank, or as the reference if you are making payments via bank transfer. That's it. So simple. Please remember that every validated schedule will have a unique schedule ID, which will start with SI with a few other characters. Without this ID, the bank cannot accept your payments. So always look out for the unique schedule ID on the payment advice for payments. Experience convenience. If you require any assistance, click on the chat feature on our members portal or contact our client services team on phone at 024-243-5037 extension 4. Email clientservices@petratrust.com or contact your relationship manager. Petra, achieve more.
Welcome back. I trust you're enjoying yourself. Just to update you that we've had the chairman's opening remarks already. We've also looked at the scheme's investment strategy and the outlook as well as the performance. We've also heard from the independent auditors of the scheme. And finally, we are going to hear from the regulator just to show you that when it comes to this scheme, we are very much committed to ensuring that all the boxes are checked at every point in time. So we have in the person, and we're so honored to have you on the set, Mr. David Tete Ame Abi. I hope I got it right.
Yeah, Tete Ame is very important to me than any other name.
Thank you. He's the Deputy CEO of the National Pensions Regulatory Authority, and he'll be sharing a few words with us. So, sir, you're very much welcome.
Thank you very
and
much.
welcome again to the Evergreen Pension Scheme, the AGM for 2022. Any few things you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, thank you very much, my lady. That was a good smile.
Thank you.
And to your cherished contributors, I want to say Afi I neighbor Ninawo. Afi been last year I was here.
Yes, around the same time.
Yeah, around the same time. But Afi na ekpewo. Pa mi ba Ninawo. Wo ye gbonu wo ye gbe na. Wo wonder new machine. Ni isu eji ake. Wo se Afi been in yewa. Ni ma tabi e ku. Ko ni wo gbasa ni. E wo alo ma ni ju ajo ofin. Okay. I mean, 2022 has been a very challenging period for all of us, including the regulator. And a lot of things have been said about the DDEP. And I believe that in your auditor's account and the chairman's remarks, the DDEP had been very prominent. In one breath, they said pension funds were exempted. In another breath, pension funds have been added. But what we do as a regulator is to ensure that in all these things, your pension funds are secure. And we cannot dissociate ourselves from what is happening because we're established by an act of parliament. So basically, we are part of government. And in all these discussions with pension funds, we've been involved. In all the discussion about the DDEP on part of the Financial Stability Council, we are members of them. So we can't say that we are not aware of what is happening. And I must say that MPRA, as a very proactive regulator, set up a committee on this DDEP that I chair. And Mr. Chris Hammond at our last meeting was even able to give us a paper. I think he was the only corporate trustee rep who gave the authority a paper for consideration. And I must congratulate him. And he shared a lot of ideas with us, for which the MPI is very grateful. I think Friday was the deadline for the government new offer, which we call the alternative offer. Now, as government operate on two levels on our market. They operate as a government establishing regulatory institutions like Bank of Ghana, National Insurance Commission, Security and Exchange Commission, and MPRA to make sure that funds are safe. And then he's also as the government who issues securities. So the bonds we are talking about were issued by government as an issuer of securities on the financial market. So at times we confuse government role as government of government and then government as an issuer of securities. So here with the issue, for example, you realize that it was championed by Ministry of Finance and not MPRA. Because Ministry of Finance is like the finance director of government. Okay, the finance directorate of government. So they make sure that when government want to borrow, they use bonds to raise money to fund their budget. And in the past, government securities, that the treasury bills and the bonds, we call them government securities, have always been said to be risk-free.
Yes.
They are risk-free because the currency in which it's being issued is owned by government. Government can print money and pay CD debt. But if it was in dollars or something else, then it's not the one who is in charge of dollars. But once they are CD debt, like CD borrowing, government can print money. And we saw how the governor was explaining the BOG losses yesterday at the press conference. So I just want to assure you that we performing our role as government of government, we were part of the negotiation with pension funds. And as the trustees can testify, this latest offer, it's much improvement upon the past. You remember we had a general one for the banks and all those people, and then we had one for about 59 years old, I think, about 59, and then now the pension one. So we have 3 different types of bonds. And when you look at the pension one, whereas in a typical bond, if the face value is 100,000, when you get all your coupon payments, at the end of the maturity, you get back your 100,000 plus the last coupon payment. But with this one, you realize that they made it 115, like there's a 15%. It may, even on the maturity value, and they split it into 2. So that sweetener itself is better than the one that they give to the banks, and then the one that they give to the above 59. And then there was also this capitalized interest that they call payment in kind, that some of the principal amounts were also increased. So in all, you realize that the effective yield on this thing became 21 instead of 18.5 as people were saying. And then so I believe that pension funds have had a better deal, and we've asked all the individual trustees, the board of trustees of the various schemes, to go and think about it. And I'm happy to say that we expect that when you look at the memo that government issued, that they expect 95% of the scheme to accept the offer. And it is our belief that this DDP will be successful, and then we'll move on. But we've put in a lot of forbearances during this crisis time. And we've also realized some of the corporate trustees have also invested their capital into the government securities, for which they are having liquidity challenges. And we are supporting them to make sure that nobody loses money in all these things. So I just want to give assurance. I'm not going to the merits of whether they should take the offer or not. But as regulators, what I want to assure them is that we are making sure that in all fairness to both the issuer of the security and then to you, the contributors who bear the investment risk here, to ensure that everybody there's fairness on the market, and we can have liquidity so that when you are going for your money, nobody will tell that government have not paid. We'll get the first payment, I think by 29th of August, and I believe that from then every half year to August, February, in every year they will get their payment. And then now that the characteristics of the new offer had come out, people can trade, because in the past we didn't know how to value those. Now that we are clear on the characteristics that I've explained, people can trade. So when I buy a pension fund bond, I know what I'm paying for. If I'm a bank and Petra want to sell its bonds to me to raise money, I know how much I should price it. And Petra is also aware what to expect. So the discovery of pricing, now that there is an alternative offer whose characteristics are very clear, and it will make sure that this kind of we don't have money will be a thing of the past.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, Mr. David Tetiame Abe, Deputy CEO of MPRA, for sharing some comforting words to us on the domestic debt exchange for pension funds, which is the alternate offer. As he said, in this particular offer for pension funds, a committee was set up, and there's been extensive research that has gone out to give some advice and comfort to schemes. Special mentions to Mr. Chris Hammond, as he mentioned, who offered a paper, a very extensive paper to help in this as well, which tells you that at Petra, there's a lot of emphasis on research and study just to ensure that we are making the best decisions. Again, in this offer, schemes are able to get what? Not just 100%, but a 1 to 1.5% exchange. So if your bonds are 100, you get an extra 15%, as you were saying, so 115, and then the effective yield on this is 21%, as he mentioned, and so we are protected on all fronts for this. And for those of you who cannot speak Ga, who did not understand what he said earlier, he meant that last year he was here, and we're praying for long life and health for him, not just for him, for ourselves as well. So the next year when we're doing this thing again, we'll be having more sweet things, because as he mentioned, the domestic debt exchange, now there's a chance for funds to trade, which wasn't there in the beginning. So thank you so much, and we appreciate all the efforts that the MPRA has put into ensuring that funds generally in Ghana are benefiting and don't have liquidity challenges, and can also pay their members and give them better yields from now throughout the time they retire. Thank you so much, Mr. David Tetiame Abe, Deputy CEO of MPRA. We'll take one last quick break here, and then we'll come back and talk to you about some amazing initiatives that, as a member of the Evergreen Fund, you are enjoying, or you don't know you are going to really enjoy very soon. So we'll see you back after the break.
We wake up and we are young. We have time. We say. Then here comes the 20s and the 30s. We are married, baby number 1 arrives, and 2, oh no, nothing saves those struggling hand to mouth. And then one day we wake up and 60 is here. And nothing's been achieved.
Don't get caught in the cycle. Take your first step to a secured financial future with Petra. Call Petra today for your free advisory session on 024-243-5037. Petra, achieve more.
Welcome back. So right after meeting the MPRA Deputy CEO, share a few words with us. We're going to be talking about some of the initiatives. I'm sure that as a customer, you're wondering what's in for me, aside the fact that I've seen that my funds are being well managed and all that. Just to remind you that we want this session to be very interactive. So from whichever platform you are watching us on, please leave your questions and your comments. We'll get back to them very soon in the Q&A segment. And also, because we want to interact with you, we know that your name is not anonymous. Kindly give us your name and where you're typing your questions from, so we can address them accordingly. Here we have Judy Chinnery, who is the head of customer experience here at Petra. Welcome, Judy.
Thank you, Sarah.
And then we have Kennedy Smith, who is the head of institutional pensions here at Petra. So Kennedy and Judy are going to be taking us through a few initiatives, and Judy will start with us on some amazing things that have happened over the period and will happen for the Evergreen Pension Scheme. So Judy, we're in your hands.
Thank you, Sarah. Let me take advantage of this opportunity to greet our customers and thank them for making time to join us on this year's annual general meeting to review the scheme's performance. I think, like you rightfully said, it's an opportunity to talk about the things you have been doing over the past year to improve or enhance the experience of our customers, and I'll delve right in. In fact, in the past year, we have been busy reviewing customer feedback to try to identify opportunities to enhance our product and our service levels to make sure you, our customers, are always happy and we are securing your finances. So to go right in, I'd like to talk about our Ease Loan product. For the benefit of our new joiners, let me give a bit of context to what this product does for you. In the pensions law, scheme members are allowed to use their Tier 3 benefits to secure a loan at any point in time. So to help you enjoy those benefits in the law, we partnered with strategic partners, Financing Homes, to design the Ease Loan product. And this product has been around for about 3 years now. We had a good number of our customers benefiting from it. Now, based on your feedback, we have redesigned the product to enhance your experience. So I'll highlight some of the benefits that this newly repackaged product presents to you, our customers. The first thing is it offers you very competitive rates. What by that, you can get a rate as low as 1.8% per month on one of our service providers. It also offers you a short turnaround time for processing, so no need to fill forms, submit and wait 1 week, 2 weeks while we do assessments. We have your tier 3 benefits back in it. And for you Evergreen scheme members, you are signed on to our tier 2 scheme, but we have some of you in there who are signed on to our personal pension savings booster product under our tier 3 scheme, so you are eligible to apply for this easy loan product. The third thing is it has easy or a medium turnaround tenor of about 24 months. And then also we have varied providers on the product, and they provide different benefits to suit the needs of different customer segments. So if you're interested in this loan, we will drop a link in the chat so that you get to talk to our advisors who will help you on the best provider to select in your application. So on there we have CDSPay, we have Consumer Bureau, you have Leshego, and then we have Renmo. So the next slide I'll talk about some of the features of the providers, each of these providers. And at Leshego, you can go as low as getting an interest rate of 1.8% per month. We can see for the rest of the other service providers, there's CDPay there, Consumer Bureau there, and then Remo. And when you come down under Remo, you can get to a point where you take a loan without even any form of security. So if you're a tier 2 customer, not yet on tier 3, as you prepare to get on it, there's still a provision for you. We are far advanced in providing you with unsecured loans, so you are not left out. I would also go on and talk about the Achieve app. Last year we came and spoke to you about the Achieve app, a platform that allows you to access different kinds of financial solutions. This year we've added on the Eurobond Trust, which gives you access to foreign denominated investments. We are also able, for those of you who don't like to take risks, you are able to access DigiSave. On DigiSave, you are able to invest in mutual funds, and then you are also able to buy T-bills right there on the Achieve app product. We have also launched the web ESS for employees to sign on without necessarily downloading the app on their phones. We have redesigned the app to also improve the onboarding experience. I think in the past year, some of the feedback we received from customers who wanted to use the Achieve app was that they had some hurdles in signing on. We have listened to your feedback and we have simplified the process to make it even easier for you. We've also introduced features to allow groups to allow multiple users to contribute towards a common goal on the app. So you form a group account and each of you can make your contributions periodically towards achieving a goal together. Also in the past year, in the face of all the financial challenges that we faced as a country, we held different types of engagements with our customers to keep you informed, and also to keep you well versed on our products that we have designed. So in total, we held about 4 webinars where we talk about some of the decisions you can make to protect your finances in these times that we find ourselves in. We also held another set of 4 to talk about our product and how you can take advantage of them to benefit you. We talked about Ease Loan, we held a couple of webinars talk about how you can prepare to acquire your home. So all of these webinars are designed to keep you informed and give you the necessary financial acumen to make sound financial decisions. We also have started sending out payment reminders to our customers who are individual contributors, both on the tier 2 and then on the tier 3 and in savings booster, to make sure that you don't lose steam in contributing towards your financial goals. Some of you got a bit jittery in the face of the financial challenges we had in this country, and they made some decisions. But I'm happy to say they are hiding their money under their bed, you know. But I'm happy to say that yes, as Petra has steered you through this difficult time, and we're on a safe terrain, I can say for now, it's a good time to bounce back and then keep focused and then keep contributing towards your financial goals. So that will be it. Okay, let me talk about customer service just before we go. I think every year for some years now, we've been hosting you during Global Customer Service Week celebration. Let me take this opportunity to thank those who were able to visit our offices last year to enjoy the programs that we organized for you. You have done well. This year we'll be inviting you again. There will be souvenirs and snack packs available for you. We are ready to host you. So please include us in your schedule and make the time to come and join us here for us to celebrate you during customer service week.
And that is in October, I guess.
In October, the first week of October.
So we just have a month to that, and then we're in customer experience week. And as she's saying, Petra is ready to host you. So please come with your friends too, I guess. But just to touch on a few things. There's a listening customer experience part of Petra to employees, and so as she mentioned, we listened to a lot of things, changed certain interfaces of certain applications we have, like the Achieve app. So if you're looking to buy the dollars on your own, the Achieve app actually offers you the chance to be able to buy, convert your money, and then have it being invested for you. She also talked about loans, the Easy Loan package that you have, that again, as a listening customer experience team, it has been changed over time with what people have seen as their challenges and their concerns. And you have rates as low as 1.8%, and that you wouldn't really get anywhere. I can tell you that on authority. For 24 months maximum, and has various providers that you can choose from. So please, these are some of the great initiatives that Petra has put together. There have been 4 webinars over the period to educate you on different topics and phenomena that have been happening in the pensions market. And so trust Petra and entrust that the Evergreen scheme is taking the best decisions on your behalf. We're moving to the head of pensions here at Petra Trust, Mr. Kennedy Smith, who shares some final words, and then we'll take your questions. So keep your questions coming. We can't wait to hear from you. So Kennedy, your words.
Thank you very much, Sarah. Special greetings to all the members of Evergreen scheme. We are privileged to have all of us online. I will start with one of the major campaigns that we put across. I think last year when we were at this conference, we mentioned that we've put together a financial planning and retirement planning campaign. And I'm happy to announce to all members of the scheme that we're able to engage about 18 companies on the financial planning, where we're able to speak to over 1,800 employees under the various organizations. One of the key things, that the reason why we actually put in this initiative together is because we believe that in Petra, every individual has a financial dream. And I know you watching us, you also have a financial dream. It could be either on investment, your expenses, insurance, or what have you, anything that has money involved. And in view of that, I would like to say that, as I think Benjamin Franklin, one of the greatest people in the US, indicated that an investment in knowledge pays better than interest. An investment in knowledge pays better than interest. What this means, on the back of this, we believe that this campaign is very good for each and every one of us. Once we are investing for our future, we need to be engaged and learn more about how we can plan for this future. And that's the reason why we have this planning in place. And we believe that if you are interested, maybe together with your colleagues, you can reach out through your HR or finance directors, or you can actually call our customer service line, and each of our retail advisors will be assigned to you, so that we'll be able to run you through the plan that you have so far as your finances is concerned. One of the things that I would also like to touch on has to do with one of the greatest initiatives that we've put together as an organization. As Judy mentioned, per the law, you can actually use your Tier 3 to secure a loan. But one of the key benefits to this new 3-tier pension scheme has to do with the provision where you can use your Tier 2 or Tier 3 as a security to assess a mortgage. We have graduated that, and we want to ensure that you also acquire your home whilst you are actively working. So we've introduced this product called Easy Homes. Yes, Judy mentioned easy loans, and you are hearing easy homes. Everything has to be easy, and that is the objective of this product. Now, what Easy Home does is that we want to partner you in order for you to have your keys before you go on retirement, and that is what this product is about. The benefits of this product is that one of the key benefits is you don't need to make any down payment before you can assess your home. All you need to do is to assign your Tier 2 or your Tier 3 contributions, and you will acquire your home. What you can also do is that if you are interested, maybe your Tier 2 is not enough in order to acquire the home, but you would like to maybe assess a mortgage, that opportunity also is available. And our advisors are in place to assist you in order to do that. One of the key benefits to this also is that you don't lose your pension funds. I know when we talk about mortgage, when we talk about products, people think about, are they going to use my pension funds to do this? No, we're just going to use it to assign in order for you to acquire the home. But the assets under your investment will still be protected. What this means is that when you go on retirement, you will still be able to have your home and also have at least some money that you can also use for your day-to-day activity. Maybe time will not permit us to go into the detail, but one of the things we've learned through the financial planning is that it is very expensive when you go on retirement, and it's very expensive for you to take care of your health. So we know that it is very key that you need to have some liquid cash before you go on retirement. But our objective here with this product is that you should be able to have the home somewhere that you can lay your head before you go on retirement. Now, if you have a house, what this means is that you do not pay rent. You are a home owner. I'm sure you are happy to hear that. And that is one of the objectives, one of the benefits of the Easy Homes. Once we're able to hand over your keys to you, it means that you cease to pay rent. And that is one of the reasons why we think that call any of our advisors and we should be able to run you through the process. And lastly, I'd like to mention some of the options that is available to all of us. What you can do is that with this product, it gives you the opportunity to buy the home outright. What this means is that if the funds that you have in your tier 2 or your tier 3, you can access the home without even acquiring a mortgage. What it means is you can get a home. You can get a home if you have 40 years, 30 years, 20 years. You can get your house before you go on retirement. The second option is that if your funds are not enough, we can also assist you through the planning process in order to acquire a mortgage so that you'll be able to access the home. Bear in mind, the objective is for you to get a home. In doing this, we've partnered with a lot of developers. We have Harvey, a lot of them that can actually assist you to get the house of your choice. In Petra, if you've been with us over the years, you know that we are keen on quality. So in terms of the developers that we are dealing with, we've ensured that all the things, all the T's have been crossed and all the I's have been dotted so that you get a quality home, the house that you want before you go on retirement. Also, we have interesting packages when it comes to the mortgage. We have partners like Fidelity and ABSA that can also help you to acquire the mortgage to support the financing of the home if your tier 2 is not enough. All right, so please, we've dropped a link at the chat box. You can actually click on it and one of our sales and retail advisors will get in touch and speak to you. I'd like to end by saying this, that we know that getting a house is very difficult in Ghana. And that is the reason why this product has come, so that your pension funds can augment that process and make it easy for you. So make sure you take advantage of that. Lastly, the last initiative I'd like to touch on is what we call Achieve Payroll. Last year, I think 2 years ago, we mentioned that if you are an employee or you are a contact person and you have difficulty in running your payroll every month, we've put together the Achieve Payroll software in order to aid that process. If you run your own business, maybe a side hustle, and you have some employees, whether 5, 10, and you don't have the money to pay for a software to run their payroll, that is why the Achieve Payroll is available. We've had over a lot of people, over 1,000 companies signing up since we introduced it, and we believe that it's still a good opportunity for each and every one of us who are entrepreneurs on this call, as well as organizations that have not been able to maybe purchase any software. This is absolutely free. It helps you to run all your SNET contributions. It helps you to run all your tier 2 contributions as well as tier 3 and even insurance. If you want to do direct deduction on payroll for insurance payment, the Achieve Payroll assists you to do that. So please get in touch with the contact as you see on your screen. You can go to www.achievepayroll.com and you can leave a comment at the feedback session and the team will get in touch in order to set you up. So Sarah, I think I'll pause here. If there are any feedback, we'll take it up when we get to the question session.
Thank you very much, Kennedy. So if you've been listening, I really don't know what you're waiting for, because if you have friends in other places, there's so much you're enjoying here at Petra. Aside having your funds managed for you, you have what? Free payroll, investments, homes. So if you have live in a rented place and all the time your landlord doesn't allow you to pound for food in certain areas, there's a package here that allows you to become a homeowner very quickly. And so just know that Petra is more or less looking to me like a one-stop shop for everything financial. And there's also financial planning services. Kennedy alluded to the 18 financial planning sessions that were done earlier. So not just investing your money, but how to use the rest of it that you even earn to make very good decisions for yourself, so that when you're retiring, you don't curse your kids or anything. Say yes. Thank you all so much for everything that we've shared with our people. And as I said, if you're listening to this, don't be selfish. Tell your colleagues, tell your friends. If you're a contact person, tell your other friends who have companies who don't have tier 2 trustees yet that there's so much goodies at Evergreen Pension Scheme, and there's so much that they can benefit from when they come. We'll go for a last break, and then when we come, we'll take your questions. And we can't wait to have all of them answered. So please do stay back. We'll be with you very soon.
Running payroll can be a strenuous task, so the last thing you want is an extra lengthy process to validate schedules and then make payments, only to be told the payment couldn't be identified or assigned to your staff. But validating schedules and payments for your staff's pension contributions shouldn't be that stressful. With Petra's self-service schedule validation, you can validate your monthly schedules with a few clicks right from the comfort of your seat in less than 3 minutes. It's so simple. Here is what you have to do. 1. Open your browser and visit members.petratrust.com. Enter your login credentials and then select Manage Employer and Validate. 2. To upload your schedule for validation. 3. After a successful validation, a report and payment advice will be sent to your email address. 4. Use the schedule ID on the payment advice as the bank account number when making payments at the bank, or as the reference if you are making payment via bank transfer. That's it. So simple. Please remember that every validator schedule will have a unique schedule ID, which will start with SI with a few other characters. Without this ID, the bank cannot accept your payments. So always look out for the unique schedule ID on the payment advice for payments. Experience convenience. If you require any assistance, click on the chat feature on our members portal or contact our client services team on phone at 024-243-5037 extension 4. Email clientservices@petratrust.com or contact your relationship manager. Petra, achieve more.
It's possible to achieve your financial goals. However, finding the right solution for your financial goals can be complicated. From finding the right investment to managing all your accounts with different providers, or being able to fully track your transactions. So, we thought of making it simple for you. Whatever your goal may be, the Achieve app gives you the right support system to get you there. It provides you with easy access to the right financial products you need to realize your goals. The sign-up process is simple and without any stress. You're also able to grow your savings and investment with the DigiSave account. You can also monitor your transactions effectively. So, download the app now and do more with your cash.
We wake up and we are young. We have time. We say. Then, here comes the 20s and the 30s. We are married, baby number 1 arrives, and 2, oh no, nothing saves those struggling hand to mouth. And then, one day we wake up and 60 is here. And nothing's been achieved.
Don't get caught in the cycle. Take your first step to a secured financial future with Petra. Call Petra today for your free advisory session on 024-243-5037. Petra, achieve more.
Thank you very much for staying. I trust that you've enjoyed yourself so far. And we are at the Q&A session where we will be taking some of the questions that you have given throughout the session or throughout this morning's annual general meeting for the Evergreen Pension Scheme. Now the first question is, how will the DDEP affect our funds within the Evergreen Pension Scheme? And I have the head of portfolio management, Yvonne Boliga, take that question.
Thank you very much for the question, Sarah. So just give a bit of a background to the DDEP so it can give better context. The government is saying that the current bonds that the scheme holds, they won't be able to afford them now and in the future. So they want to engage us to exchange these bonds for a new set of bonds. So it will be able to give them the ability to repay as and when they're due. So they will be exchanging all of the bonds in the scheme for a set of 2 bonds. One will be maturing in 27, and the other in 2028. The coupon rate on these bonds for the 2027 paper or bond is 8.35%, and then for the 2028 bond is 8.5%. And in addition to that, they recognize that it's a pension scheme, so it's whatever exchange or whatever that they put before us, they need to bring us to a position where we wouldn't lose value. So they've added some sweetness to this deal, whereby they've given us a new instrument in the form of a strip coupon at 10%, meaning that every year we'll be getting an extra 10% in the terms of coupon being paid to the schemes. Yes, the schemes have agreed to participate because after our analysis, we recognize that for this deal, it's actually a better deal for us because we'll be getting more than even being put to the same position. How would it affect our funds? Definitely, once we do the exchange, I'd want to highlight and mention that there will be no loss in value from this exchange. So whatever value that we have for the schemes, once we do this exchange and we get these 2 new bonds plus the strip coupon, scheme members are not going to lose their funds from this exchange. Thank you.
Good to know. So there's no loss in value. You're very safe. And there's a follow-up question also to that. So it says that considering the current market conditions, is the scheme revising the asset allocations?
That's an interesting one. Thank you very much, Sarah. And thank you very much to the customer who put this question. So we can all agree that, let's say 5 years ago, if someone came to tell you that buy a treasury bill or buy a government bond, you'd have said, oh, it's government, it's risk-free. So why not? Let's just go into it. Right now, there are some people that if you even tell them that I'm dashing you this government bond, they'll say, no, I don't want, right? Definitely, the way we approach our asset allocation has to change. I must add that for this change, it's not something that we are seeing now or even at the end of last year. It's a change that we recognized at the start of last year. So we actually started taking proactive steps towards it. So first of all, even when you look at even government bonds and treasury bills, most people look at them collectively as one, but in effect, the risks associated with these 2 types of assets are not the same, right? So definitely when it comes to asset allocation, it's going to be looking more towards a more balanced form of asset allocation. Asset allocation is basically how we balance risks with the different groups of assets that we have. So the different groups of assets are like your government bond, treasury bill, money markets, or your FD, commercial papers, corporate bonds, and the likes, right? Now we're going to be more diversified in our approach. We won't be looking more at doing just the government securities, i.e. your bonds and your bills, but doing more of other things that are even more towards the credit side, because the more diversified your scheme is, the better position that you are put in to avoid certain risks. So going forward, we'll definitely be looking at a more diversified approach when it comes to asset allocation for the scheme.
All right, so we won't be doing things the same way, and then more diversification to show that your funds are well protected. Now, Kennedy, can I use my funds in Evergreen to access a mortgage?
Thank you very much, Sarah, and thank you to the questionnaires, to the one who is asking the question. I'm happy that at least someone is interested in buying a house. Yes, you can use your tier 2 as a security for the mortgage. What this means is that it will be assigned. All right, the money will not be given to you to go and buy the home. All right, so once you talk to an advisor, we agree on a plan with the developer. What it means is that we will use the assets depending on how much you have and depending on the building that you settle on. We'll use that to assign, and if that is not enough, then that is when the other financing options will come in. So if you don't have a tier 3 with us and you maybe have some money somewhere else that we can factor it into the plan, where we'll be able to, because the goal is for you to get a home. So once you have your tier 2 with us through the Evergreen, you should be able to use it to assess the home.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, Judy, because you said it, why can't I use my funds in the Evergreen pension scheme to access the ease loan product? I'm sure like this person has a smile, the smileys that are crying and saying, why can't I?
So I can imagine. Thank you for the question, Sarah. So the Evergreen pension scheme, as you've all rightly said here, is a tier 2 pension scheme. And by law, there's no provision for you to use it to secure a loan. What you can use it to secure is another form of loan, the mortgage facility that Ken just highlighted on. But no, not to worry. As an Evergreen scheme member, a tier 2 scheme member, you can choose to sign on to Savings Booster, individual personal pension product, and that allows you to secure a loan, and you'll be able to even withdraw a balance, an amount that's higher than your account balance. We are also working with one of our strategic partners, our financing partners, to come up with an unsecured loan. So don't worry, it's not available today, but it's in the pipeline. And it's not in the pipeline the political way, it's in the pipeline coming soon. So you are not left out. Very soon you'll be able to access a loan facility outside of your tier 2 pension funds. It's one of the benefits Petra is trying to create for the benefit of our scheme members.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Soon and very soon, sooner than you think, there will be something for you for tier 2. And to Kennedy, can I transfer my pension fund from another trustee into the Evergreen pension scheme? I'm guessing this person might have another trustee assigned.
Another organization. Yes, it can be transferred. So per the law, unlike the previous provision that pensions were being managed, there are a lot of trustees, and when you change organization, obviously they may not be using the same trustee, right, like Petra. So what it means is that the law has given us the provision to port your funds, which you can port to another scheme of your current organization. And the process is very seamless. The law is very clear. The regulation is very clear on it. In Petra, what we've done to even shorten the curve. So if you are moving out of the scheme, that is, you're moving out of Evergreen to a different scheme, will help you facilitate the process. Similarly, if you are joining in, maybe you're working on another organization and you would like to move your funds to the Evergreen pension scheme, we can also help you facilitate that. All right. The most important thing is that the value that you have to earn on your funds, we'll have that conversation with you before we initiate the process, because we believe that Evergreen is giving you good value, and wherever you have your funds, this is the time for you to move your funds to the Evergreen pension scheme.
Thank you very much for that. And Yvonne, is the scheme still investing in government securities?
Yes and no. So we are taking a very tactical play when it comes to our investments in government securities. We are playing at the very short end, so we are participating in treasury bills. But for these treasury bill purchases that we are doing, we are not doing them to hold till when they mature, but it's for us to actually exit to make some appreciable gain on top of them. So that's why I say yes and no.
No, okay. So not actively investing in government securities.
Yes.
A lot more on the shorter dated
Yes.
ones, just to make some appreciable gains. And this is a very technical question. So it says that, how do you see the investment landscape in the near future? I don't know what the near future means to you, but I'm going to guess maybe a year from now. How do you see the investment landscape in the near future, and how will that impact the scheme?
The scheme. Okay, I'd like to piggyback. Thanks for that question. I'd like to piggyback off my very first submissions in the first question on the asset allocation and how people are now starting to recognize that government securities, when I say government, I'm not saying just Ghana, but any other countries, government securities are not risk-free. Maybe at this point in time, Ghana, we are now seeing the heightened risk there, but in other countries, maybe it is risk-free about 99%, right? And that is only because even if there's any sort of default, the government will find a way around that to pay you back your funds. May not be at the amount that you want, but you still get some of your funds back, unlike other types of investments where if there's a default or they can't pay you back, your money is gone, right? So with this realization, it's expected that in the near term, we should be seeing other types of investments come up. I think right now we are seeing some information on commercial papers. We didn't have that before, we now have that. And even with this exchange, for example, we've seen the introduction of strip coupons. We did not have that in our markets. It was in the global markets outside, developed markets, but now we are seeing that being introduced into our markets. We'll be seeing more investments from the credit space. When I say credit, it means all issuers outside of government springing up. What that will mean is that depending on the investments, there is the possibility of having some instruments that will be giving you better gains or better spreads, and giving the scheme as well more opportunities when it comes to the different baskets of investments that they can actually play around to be able to maximize the returns for the scheme members. But that is not to say that the risk is going to remain the same. Risk will definitely be heightened as well. So it's up to you to trust us and trust the network of fund managers that we are dealing with, as well as the investment and risk management committees that our regulator in their infinite wisdom actually brought into place last year to ensure that funds are safeguarded in terms of returns and risk. To trust us to make the right decisions, go through the right processes to ensure that these instruments are the right ones for the schemes with the least risk associated with them, so as to maximize the returns for the scheme members.
Thank you. Brilliant submission. I think what's clear is that things are not going to stay the same. We're seeing the emergence of different types of assets and also some variations we didn't have in Ghana, like the strip coupon. So we'll take our final question, and that's to you, Kennedy. So this one says, I'm retiring in the next few months. How will the DDEP actions impact my retirement payout?
Wow, interesting. By the way, congratulations to our expected retiree. It's two things, right? You can be impacted either through investment risk or liquidity risk. All right. When we say investment risk is a bit straightforward, right? In terms of the returns that you get on your funds whilst you are near retirement. But liquidity risk is the ability for the scheme to pay you when you are leaving. All right. And I'm happy to tell you that there won't be any adverse effects on your funds. Once you are going on retirement, you'll be able to receive your funds as you see it on your statement. All right. And in terms of the investment aspects, we are working on, whilst we are going through this restructuring, ensuring that we protect the value so that there will be no loss. I think Yvonne actually alluded to that, right? So please be assured that your investment or your funds as you see it today will not be adversely affected. Rather, what you see is growth, all right? A steady growth as you prepare to go on retirement. So if you have any other funds, please feel free to contact any of our advisors, all right, so that we'll sign you up on our Tier 3 scheme so that you can enjoy good returns in the next few months that you are preparing for your retirement.
Thank you very much, Kennedy Smith.
Thank you, Sarah.
Head Institutional Business 4 months to Treasury bills, it hasn't been a great one. I mean, from the start of this year up to now, we're returning around 23%. And the fund has grown from approximately 170 million to 190 million. And in addition, we also saw the auditor give us a very independent opinion on how the investments have fared. And we looked at the National Pensions Regulatory Authority sharing with us some information for everything that it comes with the scheme, and then showing us some information on domestic debt exchange. We'll take our final break, I promise, and when we come back, we'll look at any other business and some closing remarks from your trustees. Do stay tuned.
Goals, dreams, aspirations. We all have them, and they're the reasons why we save and invest, aren't they? But are you saving right? Because if you're not, then you're setting yourself up for disappointment. Let me introduce you to Petra's Wealth Planner, a personal financial planning and advisory service for individuals who desire to achieve their dreams. With Wealth Planner, a trained individual sits with you and develops a financial plan based on your unique needs and recommends the appropriate financial investment to attain your goals. What you need to do is to contact Petra for a planning session, and an advisor is going to call you to introduce him or herself and get to know you better and understand your current position and what your desires are. Then your goals are clearly outlined and a financial plan is developed based on your unique situation. Your advisor will also make some savings and investment recommendations to you to consider in executing the plan. Remember, the right execution is what leads to achieving your goals. That is why your advisor will keep tabs on your plan and provide ongoing advice throughout the execution until your goals are achieved. So, what are you waiting for? Call us on 0242 435 037 or send us a DM on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram at Petra on social, and let's get started. Petra, achieve more.
Running payroll can be a strenuous task, so the last thing you want is an extra lengthy process to validate schedules and then make payments, only to be told the payment couldn't be identified or assigned to your staff. But validating schedules and payments for your staff's pension contributions shouldn't be that stressful. With Petra's self-service schedule validation, you can validate your monthly schedules with a few clicks right from the comfort of your seat in less than 3 minutes. It's so simple. Here is what you have to do. 1. Open your browser and visit members.petratrust.com. Enter your login credentials and then select Manage Employer and validate. 2. To upload your schedule for validation. 3. After a successful validation, a report and payment advice will be sent to your email address. 4. Use the schedule ID on the payment advice as the bank account number when making payments at the bank, or as the reference if you are making payments via bank transfer. That's it. So simple. Please remember that every validator schedule will have a unique schedule ID, which will start with SI with a few other characters. Without this ID, the bank cannot accept your payments. So always look out for the unique schedule ID on the payment advice for payments. Experience convenience. If you require any assistance, click on the chat feature on our members portal or contact our client services team on phone at 024-243-5037 extension 4. Email clientservices@petratrust.com or contact your relationship manager. Petra, achieve more.
It's possible to achieve your financial goals. However, finding the right solution for your financial goals can be complicated. From finding the right investment to managing all your accounts with different providers or being able to fully track your transactions. So, we thought of making it simple for you. Whatever your goal may be, the Achieve app gives you the right support system to get you there. It provides you with easy access to the right financial products you need to realize your goals. The sign-up process is simple and without any stress. You're also able to grow your savings and investment with the DigiSave account. You can also monitor your transactions effectively. So, download the app now and do more with your cash.
Well, we made it to the end of the Petra Scheme Members Conference for the Evergreen Pension Scheme for the year ended 2022. We had the AOB session just like every other meeting. Would have done item 13, but unfortunately you're not here physically. But you see it reflected in your funds as we go along. So we'll take any other business from the trustees who are once back again on the set, and then closing remarks from the independent trustee, Mr. Charles Egan. Any other business from trustees?
No, nothing from me. I don't have any. Yeah. Okay.
So then we're about ending the meeting. I'm sure that we can either adjourn or close the meeting until next year.
Right.
But we will take the closing remarks from the independent trustee of the scheme, Mr. Charles.
Okay. Thank you very much, Sarah. Distinguished members, I think we've had all too soon our 2023 conference or AGM has come to an end. And I think it's been quite interactive. You've heard all the presentations, right from the chairperson talking about how we've grown to about 198 million, and we expect to grow further as we move ahead. We've heard all the investment strategies that have been put in place to ensure that your funds under management are being sort of guided in the right horizons for the investment. We heard from the independent auditor giving us a clean bill of health that we've kept clean books of account, books of records, and he gave a clean opinion, i.e. our accounts were not qualified. And they also signed on that opinion on April 2023. We heard from the regulator, and I think he gave us some assurance that with the DDEP2, which is happening to us, he gave some assurance that the returns will be good. So we'll see what happens as we move ahead. Then you've had all the initiatives that Petra is putting in place to ensure that you can actually sort of enhance your investments. I hope you take advantage of all the initiatives they have presented to you, engage with them positively to ensure that you can even sort of grow your investments better. What I would want to say is that I'm sure not all the members were able to attend, but I hope you will carry a good message to them and get them to better engage with the Petra, because you've seen all the positive things that once you engage with them, they would help you with all the necessary financial plans to make sure that at the end of the day, when we retire, you have a handsome sort of retirement package. On this note, I want to thank you very much for making time to attend the 2023 conference or the AGM, and hope that next year you would make the time to be present with us. So on that note, I would want to bring the meeting to a close and have a pleasant day. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Charles Egan. And thank you very much for being a good sport and joining us from 10 a.m. up until almost 12 p.m. where we're ending this meeting. Special acknowledgement to the people we have had here, to the chairman of the Trust Board, Mr. Kofi Difen. Thank you for being present. Thank you, Mr. Charles Egan, also independent trustee of the board. And thank you, Mr. Nixon Imwa. I'm sure I got that right also. For being on the set. Would also like to thank Ms. Yvonne Buliga, Head of Portfolio Management, who helped us with the scheme outlook and the investment strategy for the year. And Mr. Gilbert Lomofio and Mr. Samuel Annan, who came from John Kay and Co, auditors of the scheme. Mr. David Tete Ame Abe from the National Pensions Regulatory Authority, Deputy CEO. Ms. Judy Chinry, Head of Customer Experience here at Petra, and Kennedy Smith, also the Head of Institutional Business at Petra. I've been your moderator for this session, and to borrow the words from the Deputy CEO of the NPRA, I fear anybody now, which means that we'll meet again next year in good health and wealth and in strength. We'll see you again for the 2024 Scheme Members Conference for the Evergreen Pension Scheme, where we'll be studying all the activities that were done for the previous year, which is the current year we're in 2023. So see you soon. Have a good business week, and we would love to interact with you more on our products. So don't be a stranger. Keep using the links and other things that were shared. Let your questions keep coming in. Have a good business day. Thank you and bye.
It's possible to achieve your financial goals. However, finding the right solution for your financial goals can be complicated. From finding the right investment to managing all your accounts with different providers, or being able to fully track your transactions. So, we thought of making it simple for you. Whatever your goal may be, the Achieve app gives you the right support system to get you there. It provides you with easy access to the right financial products you need to realize your goals. The sign-up process is simple and without any stress. You're also able to grow your savings and investment with the DigiSave account. You can also monitor your transactions effectively. So, download the app now and do more with your cash.